Now, Ms. Rodriguez, I want to talk about your first interaction with the defendant. When the defendant asked for campsite 12, you actually recommended against it.
Well, I didn't recommend against it, but I thought that they would be okay with whatever they wanted.
Ms. Rodriguez, is it your testimony today that you did not recommend against campsite 12?
Well, I did recommend it, but I thought it would be bad for business if I said no, you can't go on this trail. So, yes.
So you did recommend against it?
I did recommend against it, but that was because I thought it would be bad for business.
Despite your recommendation, Ms. Ryder still chose to stay at campsite 12.
She did, yes.
In fact, well, Ms. Ryder, after you described campsite 12 to Ms. Ryder, she said, "That sounds dangerous. It's perfect."
Yeah, I mean, campers are saying weird stuff all the time, but she did say that.
Now, I want to talk about your second interaction with the defendant and her daughter. Around 4:30, you heard a scream,
That is true, I did hear screams at 4:30.
and it sounded like the voice of a child.
I'm not sure, but it was a scream, yes.
So you went to go check it out on Electron Loop.
I did, yes.
And Parker and Jordan were together at that time.
Yeah, they were together, and Jordan told me that Parker had seen like a fox or something, and she had this scream because she was scared of the fox.
But after that, you walked away, Ms. Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like everything was going back to normal. I figured that she had seen a fox.
And after you walked away, Ms. Rodriguez, you heard another scream.
I did hear another scream, yes.
But you didn't go check this scream out.
I figured there was another fox. There's foxes all over the campsite.
But actually, Ms. Rodriguez, you don't know what caused that other scream.
No, I do not.
You don't know if someone had gotten hurt.
No.
Now, Ms. Rodriguez, I want to talk about the time you saw the defendant and you did not see Parker. This was around 6:30,
This was around 6:30, yes.
and when you went to check on campsite 12, you asked the defendant, "Where's Parker?"
I did, yes.
And to that, the defendant said, "Alive and well, of course."
Yes, I think she said something like that, yes.
But just to clarify for the jury, you did not ask the defendant if Parker was alive.
No, I didn't see, I had a reason to ask her that.
And you did not ask the defendant if Parker was well.
No.
Your Honor, permission to get Exhibit 25 from the jury?
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Exhibit 29, my bad. And permission to approach Ms. Rodriguez. Now, Ms. Rodriguez, I know you haven't seen this before, but this is the autopsy of the medical examiner. And if you can read along silently.
I've already.
Objection, Your Honor. Needlessly cumulative.
Sustained.
Ms. Rodriguez, in that autopsy report, if it says that the time of death is between 4 and 6 p.m., is it reasonable to say that Parker Page was alive at 6:30?
I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't read this, so I don't know if that's true, but if you say so, sure.
Your Honor, permission to get Exhibit 29 back from Ms. Rodriguez and hand it to the jury.
Sure.
Approaching Ms. Rodriguez, republishing to the jury. Now, Ms. Rodriguez, I want to talk about the next day. You went on a hike, as you mentioned, on direct at 5 a.m. Is that it?
Yes, sorry.
And you went to check on campsite 12.
Yes.
And it looked like no one was around.
Well, their tent was still up, so I figured they may have just walked away or something, so yeah.
But just to clarify, Ms. Rodriguez, you thought no one was around because Jordan's red truck was gone.
That's true, yes.
And then later that morning, a detective came to your campground,
Yes.
and you led that detective to campsite 12.
Yes, Detective Chesney and I went to campsite 12 when he arrived, yes.
And after the detective woke up the defendant, he asked her, "Where's Parker?"
I think he did ask her that, yes.
And to that, the defendant said, "I don't know. I have been asleep all night."
I don't remember if I heard that, but it's something to that effect, yes.
And then the defendant said that Parker had been hiking all night.
I don't remember hearing that, no.
Just to clarify, the defendant did tell Detective Chesney that Parker had gone hiking.
I don't know, because I did step away for a minute to check on my phone to see if some campers were returning, but
Ms. Rodriguez, isn't your testimony today that you did not hear the defendant tell Detective Chesney that Parker had gone hiking?
no, I did hear Detective Chesney say that, but I didn't hear those exact words.
Is
It
your
was
testimony?
something to that effect. He said something like that, yes, sure.
Ms. Rodriguez, I'm asking you if the defendant, Jordan Ryder, told Detective Chesney that Parker Page had gone hiking.
Yes. I mean, they both went hiking.
But, Ms. Rodriguez, after the defendant told the detective that she had been asleep all night, you actually didn't believe her, did you?
No. I mean, I saw the fire at 11, so I go to bed pretty early.
Not only the fire, Ms. Rodriguez, but also the fact that you saw that the truck was missing at 5 a.m. in the morning. That also made you suspicious.
Yeah, it did make me suspicious, yes, because I wondered where they went, but I figured they just went to go get breakfast or something.
So when Miss Ryder told the police that she had been asleep all night, she lied to Detective Chesney.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't with her.
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Overruled.
Just to clarify, Ms. Rodriguez, when Miss Ryder told Detective Chesney that she had been asleep all night, you thought that that was an act.
I did think it was an act because I saw the fire and I was like, yeah, she probably wasn't asleep all night. She was probably doing something, but yeah.
So you thought that she lied to the police officer.
Well, I don't know if I would say lie, but I did think it was an act because she was acting a little fidgety, but yeah.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No redirect.